You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Check out the GCP where the vibes are free at 779 Bank Street. And after a ridiculous schedule, the Senators are settling into a 4-game homestand. Get your Glebe Central Pub shuttle tickets for all 4 games at glebecentralpub.com. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and it is all about goals, not shots. We'll get into both of those on what was an outrageous, what I called in my quick post-game hit, Pillsy, a historic win in Senators history.
Historic?
How many teams go 30 minutes with 2 shots on goal and win?
Yeah, that's fair. This is wild. This is a start the car win, get out of Philly, head back to the airport, fly home to Ottawa before they decide to change the score of this game or take more shots away from the Sens. 3 goals on 13 shots. And Ross, the Ottawa Senators never cease to surprise us. We asked on Friday's show for specifically a 2-0 first period, get a power play, and do not allow a power play goal against. Clean period. Clean. That's all we wanted. And we got it. And then you're thinking, okay, this team now, we're firing on all cylinders for the first period. Easily the best first period the Ottawa Senators have played. They were aggressive. They were setting up really good chances that led to 2 goals. They got rid of the diamond on the penalty kill, playing the box. It looked so much better. And then they decide to say, hey, we had a good 20 minutes. Let's coast the rest of this game and hope we can pull one out in overtime, which they did. But 25 minutes without a shot is not a recipe for success. But somehow they end up getting not only a point, making this to overtime, but they get the win. Oh my God, thank goodness. Because this would be a very different postcast if they didn't get the win. It would be pretty similar to the Boston postcast, Ross, because the Sens scored on the first shot of the game in Boston and then just did not have anything going. And they reluctantly took the point. This time you double up on the Flyers, you get 2 points, they get 1. Massive for how tight the standings are right now.
4th straight game for the Ottawa Senators to go past regulation. Yeah. And this was the 3rd fewest amount of shots the Sens have ever taken in a win. The fewest, a 2-way tie, a game against New Jersey in 2013. And last season, when Ottawa beat the San Jose Sharks, the shots were 39-11. Ullmark wasn't as busy, only 22 shots in this game. But they don't get it even 1 point without his great saves, even towards the end of the game when it was getting dicey. But he made a couple big ones. Like, he obviously didn't steal this game, but he was doing everything but shoot the puck at one point.
I thought he was good. I didn't think he was great. That gymnastics wild dive move to try to stop that second goal was, I've never seen that in my life, but I am not about to sit here and make this postcast about Linus Ullmark being bad or not good enough. He was good enough and they got the win, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, so am I. And we haven't mentioned yet, Tim Stützle scores the overtime winner. Great to see for Timmy. Great feed, too, from Drake Batherson. He did that move he often does where he'll curl and drag from the strong side into the middle of the ice, but this time just put a little pass on it, and Timmy made no mistake into a wide open net. Got to be tough for Samuel Ersson. He went like an hour and a half without a shot on goal. Then just a little one from Cousins. Not even really a good scoring opportunity when they broke the streak there with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Tim Stützle, first shot in overtime for the Sens, and it's in the back of the net. Philly didn't get a shot in overtime. They did control possession. I honestly found myself cheering for a shootout at the start of OT. That's how little confidence I had with the Sens.
Well, that's crazy because you hate the shootout more than you hate anything else. And they mentioned on the broadcast the Flyers are 3-0 in the shootout this season. And I'm pretty sure Gord Miller said of players that have 20 shootout attempts or more, Trevor Zegras is among one of the most successful in the NHL. So like that would have been tough. But Ross, can we break down this OT goal even a little bit more? Because
well, first, let me just say the Senators are 2-0 in shootouts, and that list where Zegras is at the top, he is. Tim Stützle's right there with them. So it would have been power on power, but Tim Stützle said, forget that. I'm just going to get it done in overtime.
Yes, now don't get it twisted. I wasn't suggesting that I wasn't confident in the Sens, but you're going up against another team that's confident in the shootout. So the key here is the Ottawa Senators change at a good time. And the Philadelphia Flyers have tired guys on the ice. Maybe LOSP stats department can look at the shift time for those Philadelphia Flyers on the ice at while I go on here. But you talked about Batherson and Tim Stützle, great there. I want to rewind the tape a little more. That wasn't a great rewind.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'll work on that. But Shabbat, in his own end, heads up play, knows that change just happens, heads up, perfect stretch pass from his own end right on the tape of Batherson, who's standing there waiting at the blue line to enter, doesn't jump the gun, doesn't go offside, that puck doesn't bobble on him, he controls it, walks in, realizes the Sens have an odd man rush here with fresh legs versus the Flyers' tired legs, and Timmy's got that speed, he hits the gas, and Batherson knows he's going to do that. Like, he sets it up to look like he's going to shoot. He wasn't thinking shoot at all, in my opinion, on that play. Beautiful toe drag to fake everybody out. Because when he does that toe drag, even if you don't think he's going to shoot, you have to respect it enough to try to block that shot. But toe drag, fakes him out, slides it over to Timmy, who hits the gas and gets to that spot of the ice and taps it in. And you can hear Timmy go back on the replay and watch. He is cackling in the corner as he's celebrating that goal. Cannot believe that they won that game. And that was Tim Stützle's second goal of the game. Elite night for Tim Stützle.
And Stützle now up to 8 goals on the season. Batherson and Shabbat draw the assists on that one. The longest shift length there, just because you asked, for the Flyers was Trevor Zegras was on the ice for 45 seconds going into that. They did change the other forward, but Zegras had tired legs out there, and Ottawa takes advantage.
But
so
also overtime, like, you're going back and forth a lot more. Like, that 45 seconds, and there's more ice and more space you got to cover. That's a harder 45 seconds than a typical 5-on-5.
Yes. Earlier in the game, it started great. We'll go from one Tim Stützle goal to the other, his 7th of the season. I'm not going to do the rewind. Perron and Ridley Gregg get the assist 5 minutes and 14 seconds into the game. So again, goal in the first 10 minutes, and the Senators weren't satisfied after that one. And what a shot it was. I was yelling at my TV at David Perron to rip that puck. He had so much space in the slot, and he said, no, why don't I give it to Timmy Shooter?
No, I was the exact opposite, Ross. As soon as Perron had that puck, I said, over to Timmy, goal. And before he even passed it, and then it happened. Those are always the best when I'm like, maybe I should be the broadcaster here. I'm already calling the plays before they're happening. Fast forward button. Whoa. That one was better.
It was. Michael Matteo staying hot too. That was awesome to see. Like, he'll find his way on the score sheet now.
27 goals, maybe?
Ooh, maybe. Well,
wait, how many assists does he have?
Right now, 1.
Okay, so 26 goal season for Michael Matteo.
That would be awesome. He hadn't scored in back-to-back games. We said that before 2 games ago. And now all of a sudden he's got a goal in 3 straight games, up to 5 in his last 8. So awesome to see Michael Amadio. Claude Giroux, what a zone entry from Shane Pinto, though, there. Like, he dipsy-doodled his way, found Giroux right over to Amadio, and the Flyers kind of loosey-goosey there on Amadio, gave him too much time and space, and he made them pay. Senators went up 2-0, and that was all the offense they would get until overtime. Because in the second, it was Matvei Michkov. Then in the third, Jamie Drysdale, and Ottawa was outshot 18-6 in the final 2 periods.
And those goals were 1 minute and 5 seconds apart. Like, we talk about momentum goals, Ross. That was a nice momentum goal period for the Ottawa Senators. But yeah, that Michkov goal, if we're moving on goal by goal here, what a job by Michkov to out-battle Jake Sanderson. You don't see that often where Sanderson is man on man, and Michkov bumps him right off him on the boards. And then usually if that happens to Sanderson, it's like, okay, he got beat physically, which Sandy's jacked now, so it doesn't happen that often. But when he does get beat physically, he's like, I'll just make up for it with my skating. But Michkov was able to curl around and then rip that shot in. That Michkov is a bit of a sleeping giant offensive player for me. Like, you don't see him doing a lot around the other areas of the game, but as soon as he has time and space in the offensive zone, he's so good.
Well, you know where to find him when the puck's in the D zone. He's up waiting for a breakaway pass.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is always cheating for offense. So it'll be a delicate balance, but he showed a ton of skill there on that goal. And you probably want a little bit of help coming over because, again, when you're cutting towards the middle of the ice, you're giving too much time and space away when he's able to rip that. But it was a good goal. Then in the third period, like you could feel this goal coming from a mile away.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And the Flyers game plan was brutally obvious. It was pointed out on the broadcast before the goal. And I don't know if this counts as a screen goal, probably not because it was off the rebound, but that was what they were doing. Cycle it high, get bodies in front, and just feather pucks and say, hey, there's a good chance something is going to happen for us. And it did. Drysdale makes a save, and you already talked about the cartwheel antics on the play. But at least he's trying to get over there. Hey, you take that over the statue, man.
Yes, yeah, I'll agree. I mean, although that might be just as bad a visual as the statue man, but you want to see him battling there, so that is good. Jamie Drysdale, like that's a defenseman that's that low and gets that opportunity. Like you mentioned, the Flyers were just like, hey, let's get shots through and good things will happen. Especially that's probably a check the game notes, bud. They know screenshots on Allmark have a very, very high percentage chance of success. Even if it's not necessarily the shot that beats them, you can get a deflection or rebound that'll do it too, and Drysdale capitalizes there. I mean, at that point, Ross, anytime the Flyers had the puck in the Sens zone, I was gripping my couch and like heartbeat going 100 beats per minute, just like, oh my God, if anything gets the net, it's going in.
Yeah, felt that way for sure. My moment like that was earlier in the third period when the stretch hadn't been so long, but you're still wondering, where's the offense? Why are they having such trouble getting possession consistently in the offensive zone? And then they actually get a D-zone power play opportunity when Pinto got tripped by Michkov. You're like, okay, here we go. Make it 3-1, and away you go. Didn't happen. Flyers fight back. For them, a hard-earned point after going down 2-0. Like,
Yes.
Give them credit. They didn't give a whole lot of time and space in that second and third period, and Ottawa is lucky to escape the dad's trip with a win. With that, the Senators decided to play everyone in their lineup that was on the trip. Ole Lexell gets in after scoring the game-winning goal the last time Ottawa played his former team, and then Jordan Spence also in action. So sorry, I guess Levi Marilainen did not get to play on the dad's trip, but everyone else did. We'll discuss Jordan Spence's physical game tonight, and we've got Sens Central standouts plus a boots on the ground report from the city of brotherly love. That's all next. You're listening to the Postcast presented by Locked On Senators.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Rougiette. Let's be real, making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm just tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support, and that's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help stop making excuses and start making moves. They make it easy to get started, guys. You connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. No awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. The process is fast, simple, and private, and it's all handled by real doctors. It's all about confidence, connection, and getting back to those moments that matter. Visit Rougiette.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnNHL. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNHL so they know the Locked On Senators podcast sent you. Rougiette, stop making excuses and start making moves.
Today's postcast, as always, it's brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. And you know what moments matter to me, Pilsy? That feeling after a Saturday matinee win where you can sit back and watch the rest of the game and say, we got our 2 points in the bank. And where better to do that than at the Glebe Central Pub, where you can catch the game, you can go to have a great time. Saturday night tonight, live music with no cover ever. They've got something every night of the week, whether it's wing night on Monday. You can go check out open mic night on Wednesday, and of course, the Sens shuttle. $18. What a deal. Round trip to and from the CTC back to 779 Bank Street, which is just walking distance from Lansdowne. And you can go there for great food, awesome drinks, and an atmosphere to match. The tickets for all 4 November games that are all coming up this week are available now, GlebeCentralPub.com. So make sure to let them know that Locked On Senators sent you and have a great time. Like our guy Chase, Wisconsin Sens fan, is going on the GCP shuttle this week.
Nice.
It's his first Sens game in Ottawa, and the guy has been a fan for years. So go and join him on the GCP shuttle, the Glebe Central Pub. The vibes are free at the GCP. Welcome back to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and the Senators pull off a miraculous 3-2 win in overtime today in Philadelphia, where they are outshot 22-13. The power plays in this game even at 0 for 2 apiece. The faceoffs, shocker, goes in Ottawa's favor, 55%. The hits, 26 for Philly to 18 in Ottawa's side. And then the block shots favor the Sens 17-10 at 5-on-5. The puck was slightly tilted. I honestly thought it would be more in Philadelphia's direction, 54.5%. Pilsy, we've got our boots on the ground report standing by. But before that, I just want to know how this builds confidence, if at all. Like, you take the 2 points. I know you're running to the car, but do you have time to think in the back of your head, hey, let's build on this tomorrow? What parts of today's game would you take into the game, Utah, less than about 24 hours away?
I mean, that start was incredible. I found myself looking at the first couple minutes and being like, oh my God, they're playing fast. They're playing aggressive. They're possessing the puck. They're not just giving it away. So you got to say to yourself, all right, we had a good 20 minutes. Let's compound that into a good 60. And then, sure, it wasn't pretty the rest of the game, but getting that goal in overtime, and like I said, good change, heads up play by Shabbat, slick move by Batherson to pass it over, and that burst of speed to tap it in backdoor by Timmy. Sometimes you just need to hold on, dynamic play, get out of there. And that's what they did.
Send Central Standouts are next, but first let's go to Philadelphia, where we catch up with Katie. What's up, Katie? How are you?
Hi, I'm great. This is my dad, longtime Sens fan and Philly resident.
Locked on, boys. Ross, Pilsy, good to see you, boys.
Let's go.
Likewise. You guys look phenomenal. What was the Sens contingent like there in the rink today?
I think 0.01%. I think we found 18 of us out of 18,000 fans.
I want to say, when we walked in, we were taking the over-under on 12. I took the under. I still think I won that, but he seems to think
you may have counted them more than once.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're feeling pretty good. I hope you got to your seat in time for puck drop.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're here for warm-ups. Yeah, we don't mess around here. We got it. Been here 21 years, but we stayed Sens fans the entire time. So right before we moved here, there was that big penalty games. You know the one in 2004, the massive one, still on YouTube. Go check it out. But I would say the Sens held their own here in this barn back then, and they look great tonight as well. Ugly win, we'll take it, because we don't win here a lot, as you guys know.
No, but hey, that was an overtime win last year, wasn't it? Timmy as well that got the winner there. He gets it tonight. So yeah, I need a Sens Central standout for both you guys. Who stood out from the building the most?
Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, I think everyone really showed up tonight. I would say we were really happy about the Stutzla goal. I know my fiance bet on him tonight, so that was really exciting to see.
Big dollars there. You know, I wish Zetterlund was showing up a little better than that, but Giroux with a point in that first goal. Always loves coming back home and playing against his team. I got the Giroux jersey.
Shows up in Philly. We love
one way to not have batteries thrown at me. It's helpful.
I want to say really quick that they can never make me hate you, Olmark. They can never make me hate you.
You stay with it, buddy. We got you, Oli. We got you. Ugly win and well done, buddy. We needed you. You held up. You held up. Good job, boys.
Strong with Ollie. Goalie-friendly show. We love that. How awesome is it being in Philly for as long as you have, getting to see Claude Giroux back here? How do Philly fans feel about Giroux?
It was a dream. We were here when he was the captain and even ascending to the captaincy, and to see him go to Ottawa is, boy, what a beauty.
And Philly fans get such a bad rap, but I want to say they've always been really kind to me. And Toronto fans are way worse, just for the record.
Yeah.
Way worse.
We feel safer here in Philly than we do in Toronto, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
okay, nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Toronto needs to be on notice. It's happening.
Yeah. We're putting them on notice. Have you guys been able to get up to Ottawa for a game recently?
Oh yeah.
I'm going there for my bachelorette party, actually.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's
awesome.
go. That's
going
to be
for
a
game?
blast.
Katie?
Yep.
What's your record when you attend Sens games, by the way?
So, by the way, throughout my whole life, I'm 12-2 watching Sens games. Out of 14, they've won 12.
I'm not saying we need sponsorship. I'm just saying we would just take it just for free ticket. We'll pay for travel.
If they were to pay me to come with them, they would win a lot more games. Just saying.
Well,
we're doing it for the cause, boys. For the cause.
Yeah, another one today, huge, and that's why we got number one boots on the ground Sens fan Katie.
That's right.
And What's your name, you beauty? I don't want to just call you Katie's
Trent
dad.
Booth. I've been throwing you guys beauties all day long, man.
Nice.
Super test coming. Trent
Let's
Booth, Katie Booth. Raise
go.
them right, boys. Come on, go Sens, go.
You guys look phenomenal.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. We just said there's nothing better than
gotta show these
after a
guys.
win, the matinee.
Hey,
Oh, let's go.
Come on now.
Nice. So that means that there's -4. We're looking for 14 more Sens jerseys in the whole rink if Trent's numbers were right
That's
there off the
great.
bat. You guys look phenomenal. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you. You
On
too.
the ground report, and you can follow Katie on social media. She is at _canceled. But we're canceling any Philly parades today. The Ottawa Senators come out there with 2 points and get the win. We love those boots on the ground reports. What energy, enthusiasm, just what I needed to fire me up after a big win. Big win.
What a bunch of beauties. I mean, daughter-dad combo for the boots on the ground. That's a first on the show. So we, Trent and Katie, absolutely loved having them join us, and great people over in Philly. And we were saying, Ross, Claude Giroux, matinee against Flyers in Philly. We were even like, sorry if we're annoying you guys with this. We've said it so many times, but it hit within minutes. And Claude Giroux loves going to Philly. You got to capitalize on that.
When you're right, you're right. And we just wanted to make sure that the good people were riding with us, because that brings Claude Giroux's career numbers against the Philadelphia Flyers to, I want to say, over a point per game. We're working against the dial-up level internet here. So you know what? I'll get you Claude Giroux's career stats against Philly on the other side, along with our Sens Central standouts. Right. You're listening to the postcast presented by Locked On Senators.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. You guys know FanDuel is the official online sportsbook of the Locked On Podcast Network, and the NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has everything from live bets, who will score next, to fourth quarter comebacks. Or if you're in the NHL and watching the Ottawa Senators, overtime comebacks as well. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game more exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. And we've been telling you about the Claude Giroux prop bets, and we've been telling you about a goal in the first 10 minutes. That's another fun bet that you can do on FanDuel that has been very successful in Ottawa Senators games. And if you're a new customer right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Welcome back to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan. That is Brandon Piller, and the Senators are coming home to begin a 4-game homestand. Winners 3-2 in OT. Tim Stutzla with 2 goals. Michael Amadio gets his 5th of the season. He went the first 7 games, 0 points. And then in the last 8, Michael Amadio has 6 points, including 5 goals. And to tie a bow on that Claude Giroux statistic, against Philadelphia, he now has 3 goals and 10 assists in 11 career games, 14 points in 11 games for Giroux against his old team. Pilsy, you lead us off here with your Sens Central standout.
Okay, nice. Ross, what does Aleem's Martian say is the key to winning hockey games for the Ottawa Senators?
Give it to the German.
Give it to the German. And Tim Stutzla scores twice. He gets the opening goal and the closing goal. He starts it off and finishes it off. What a game for Tim Stutzla. And hey, 2 shots, 2 goals. You said it, Ross. Shots, you like them, but goals are more important. How about going 100% in your shot success rate? And he was also great in the faceoff dot, 58.3. I love Timmy's game tonight. He had 2 blocks, 1 hit as well. In 18 minutes and 26 seconds, Tim Stutzla was easily, by far, this team's best player, and he's done the job of being the guy that elevates his game the most without Brady Tkachuk here, and I couldn't be happier with how Tim Stutzla has been lately.
Timmy Shooter, man. It's so refreshing to see a player that calls himself out on what needs to improve in his game. Not that everyone else didn't know. That'd be nice if he shot the puck more. But then to follow through with it the way that he has. it's honestly been a joy to watch him and developing his all-around game. He was near perfect tonight. I felt like there was even a part where when they were struggling to find anything, we'll get to the giveaways. The Sens couldn't clear their zone in the second half of the game. Perron had 3 on one shift where he couldn't get the puck out.
And Gord Miller said, and he nailed it, there seems to be a force field at the red line for the Ottawa Senators, because the issue was they were hemmed in their zone so much. As soon as they had an opportunity to get to the neutral zone, their only option was to dump and change because they're all gassed. Like, it was just hemmed in, get it, dump, change, hemmed in, get it, dump, change. And that was like 15 straight minutes of Sens hockey.
And our guy, Sassy Saslov, tweeted at us and said, Tim Stützle with that, man, he's on pace for 44 goals and 88 points this season. And I'd imagine averaging about 3 shots a game. So you love to see that. But what I was going to say is, while Ottawa was struggling to get offense, there was a time where he got it at his own blue line. He's like, I'm not giving it to anybody. And he danced around, didn't quite get to the middle of the ice enough to get a shot off. But it's that, hey, give me the puck, let me lead, especially with Brady out. You need that bull by the horns mentality. And Stützle brought that tonight. I'm going to give a little love because we've talked about Michael Amadio. It's sprinkled throughout the show. He deserves some love. But Artem Zub is my Sens Central standout in tonight's game. And a big reason why. Just look at the 4 minutes that he missed when he got a puck to the ear after a great defensive stick to block that shot. It ultimately just trickles into Allmark. They score on the next shift when he should have been out there. It was a Sanderson-Cleven mix-up. I mean, Nick Cousins gets beat off the wall by Drysdale, so Sanderson feels like he needs to go help him out, but then he and Cleven just kind of got discombobulated after that play, and next thing you know, the puck's in the back of the net. But Zub is just steady Eddie out there. I felt like every time he was out there, I could kind of take a deep breath and just say, okay, nothing bad's going to happen because old Zuby is out there. He's even getting in the little mix, a couple of scrums in front of the net. He was pushing and shoving. So when he's engaged, he's even that much better. But to me, what I want to highlight beyond everyone knows the defensive prowess that he has, he is so much more confident on hanging on to pucks in the offensive zone now, especially obviously in the first half of the game when the Sens were actually down in that end. He was able to keep plays alive and extend possession by holding on and maybe driving down to the hash mark and then making a play. So all good things for Artem Zub, and we hope that ear's not ringing too long throughout the flight home.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Zub, that's a good one, Ross. I like his game, especially Sandy hasn't been the Sandy we know and love the last couple games, in my opinion. So it's good that Zub has stuck to his steadiness, and he plays that game so well. And yeah, Zub has just had so much bad luck with face injuries. Like, it's crazy. And if you've played hockey, you know, if you have a visor and a puck gets up in there, oh man, that's the worst feeling. And toughness from Zub, because he could have just held his ear and been like, I'm getting out of here. But he's like, I need to be here for this play. And he ends up clearing it out of danger there.
Well, he clears the play, right? He just stays like steady and he didn't move from his stance. Like, he was in full hockey stance, ready for those C cuts to move backwards. So shout out Zub. He had 3 block shots in this game, 1 shot on goal to go on top of it, which out of 13, I mean, man, he's providing some serious percentage of offense for Ottawa. You know what? Let's snap it around because I want to give some love to one more guy. Maybe if you don't mind, I'll go again just because it's of the same vein. Sir. Thomas Chabot will be my other game high 5 blocks in this one. And he was the guy who got the change with Sanderson and then made the play. He first went and took it off the stick of Konechny down below. They had a little battle there. Then he jumps up into the play and ultimately sets that in motion, saw that the forwards changed and said, I need to get this up to Timmy and Drake as soon as possible. So he finds Batherson by the boards and the rest is history. So shout out Thomas Chabot. He deserves some love. +2 in this game as well. 23 minutes on ice, just a minute behind Sanderson to lead all players.
Nice. I like it. Yep. Great. That play to set up the overtime goal was the highlight for me for Chabot. I'm man of the people, Pilsy people pleaser. I'm going with the chat. I'm going Jordan Spence as my other Sens Central standout. This guy needs a shout out and to be rewarded whenever he gets an opportunity. So I'm doing it. Sure. Doesn't show up on the score sheet like he had all other 5 games. He was a point per game guy before this. Finishes a +1, 17 minutes, 19 seconds of ice time. 2 hits. One of them, a big hit on Grundstrom, knocks him down. Everyone's like, oh, Zub, Spence, little defenseman. He's too small, blah, blah, blah.
At least you didn't accidentally say Branny. At least you know the guy who played in the game.
But look, you might be small, but he's showed his might there. He knocked down Grunstrom. He wasn't expecting that. And then earlier on in the game, Spence made a great stick play to break up a really good opportunity in the first period. Great stick to break up a pass in the slot that probably would have resulted in, at the very least, a good scoring chance, but probably a goal, in my opinion. So it's these little things that Spence just needs to make sure he's doing. Let Travis Green know you're not just a guy that can carry the puck up the ice. You can hit, and you can play nice defense as well. I like Jordan Spence's game tonight.
Spence played 13-51 at 5-on-5 with Tyler Clevin as a pair. They were on the ice for the goal for and none against. So good game for Jordan Spence. You got to think he deserves to be in the lineup tomorrow night against Utah, but we're not going to count those chickens before they hatch. Yes. You never do that, right?
You shouldn't do that. It's not a great way to run a business. No.
No, but Jordan, it's not a good way to run a business keeping Jordan Spence out of lineup.
Agreed.
So let's get Jordan Spence back in the in the game. I was gonna say bullpen. I don't know why I still got baseball in the brain. Get him in the game. Get him throwing. We need this guy loose. We need to get this guy loose. Get him playing a few games in a row, feeling good about himself. And I do think that we are still just scratching the surface. I know there's a bit of PTSD from hearing that with Josh Brown. But I do think Jordan Spence is scratching the surface of being a very valuable player to this Ottawa Senators team down through the second half of the season. Pillsy, any final thoughts on today's show? What a fun postcast. Great to have 250 citizens here joining us after an afternoon win on a Saturday where you can now look at the out-of-town scores and say, all right, do we get to hate watch some games tonight? Go Utah, which is funny to say because then you're rooting against them tomorrow night in Ottawa. They're playing in Montreal. And then you got Washington and Tampa. Tampa's buzzing. You want to keep them down a little bit after you earn your 2 points. You don't want it to go by the wayside and have all these other teams win. Like the Panthers are playing in San Jose tonight. So you're going to be sitting back. At least I will be watching some Atlantic Division action. How about you? What are your final thoughts?
Yeah, that was great for the Sens to get 2 points here. Right back at it tomorrow up against the Utah Mammoth, like you mentioned. Now, the Mammoth are traveling as well from Montreal to Ottawa, less travel than the Sens, Philly to Ottawa. But Levitan, this is his third game. He had an absolute stinker to start and then a really good game his second start. So let's see him at least finish somewhere in the middle here and give the boys a chance like Linus Ullmark did tonight. And if you can come away with this weekend with 4 points leading into this home stretch, that's going to be huge for the momentum. And I want to see both goalies get a win this weekend. That would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be so nice. Because didn't Ottawa have such a great run in January and March of back-to-backs on Saturday, Sunday, and winning both of them? They were the weekend warriors last year.
When you get wins on back-to-back games on a weekend, it's just, I don't know, Ross, I'm just feeling so much better walking into the podcast studio on Monday. So let's do that for me, please.
Dude, that would be awesome. And as a team now, Ottawa, we mentioned, they've got at least a point in 4 straight games. They're 2-0-2 during that stretch. But you're looking at this time spent without Brady Tkachuk, the goal, 500. Now you're stacking points, and that second one's so important for that. So let's have a big one tomorrow, and then we'll see you in the postcast afterwards. It's a double dip for us, a 7-day work week, because it ain't work when the Senators put on maybe not that type of performance for the whole game, but when they get 2 points, it's still a vibe cast afterwards. There are still things, though, to clean up, and we said we would get into it, but the defensive zone giveaways and getting the puck out of their end, that needs to be worked on. So that'll be my key to victory for Sunday night in Ottawa. Yours will be Levi-Marilainen having a good game and getting a win. For me, it's let's get these pucks out of the zone, because that secondary, third, fourth opportunity, that's just going to beat you when you get running around in your own end. So great final score, 3-2. Senators win. Shout out Tim Stützle, 2 goals leading the way offensively for this group. And Linus Ullmark makes 20 saves. It's a .909 save percentage. He's up over 900 for the first time in his last 5 games. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Let's get some Go Sens Go. Woo! That GSG in the chat. Shout out to a phenomenally energetic boots on the ground report. That was sick. So are you. Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan, and this has been the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. Get those tickets for the GCP shuttle, $18 round trip every home game this week. We're a part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.